Black Lives Matter. If you disagree with that statement in any way, shape, and form, part of me wants to tell you to turn this video off right now, to go think and educate yourself, which you should, and I'll get into that. But I also think this is a video you should watch. Black Lives Matter isn't a trending topic. It's not a sexy thing to hashtag. It's the way things always should have been. Black lives should have always mattered. There never should have to have been a hashtag that says Black Lives Matter. I thank God that there was, because the amount of resources and education and visuals that have been brought to light of not just the past couple weeks, but of years, and people's traumas from centuries, and what our country, America, is what it's built on. I am white, I am cis, I am straight, I am privileged as all hell, and I've messed up, and I'm here to talk about that today. I really want this video to be shorter because I want you to watch the whole thing, and a lot of my videos are very long. I want to link people down below that I think have spoken much more eloquently and more passionately about Black Lives Matter and why you need to listen to Black people about Black Lives Matter. I'll list them down below. Smoky Glow, for some reason, is the first and only one coming to my head, as well as her name is Amanda Elimian. Amanda, if you're watching this in any way and I said your name wrong, I'm really sorry. But it's spelled Elimian. Amanda ABB on YouTube. Really great commentary content along with doing makeup at the same time, so it makes it very soothing to like listen to good information and get ready with them at the same time. So it's really good info. Okay, so today we're going to talk about allyship, something that I am not an expert on at all, but I'm in the thick of it, and I feel like a lot of my channel is based around my experience while being in the thick of it and experiencing it in current time. So that's why we're going to talk about it today, right now. Yesterday, June 10th, I was trying to do my work as an ally after listening to a couple podcasts and really hearing stuff about how being an ally is really hard and how it is not an easy task. It is not a sexy task. Downright shameful sometimes are things that you have to come across and have to fight against, and that it is our job as white people to do it. I've been posting and sharing and trying to do my part as a white person in this time of resources, of stories, of creators. A lot more work to be done, and that's another video that I'm going to be filming about that. Using my privilege for good, using the white voice that I have and the privilege that I have over even just the 2,000, almost 3,000 of you watching this. That might be so many more people that I can speak to and reach and have listened to the message of Black folks, what they've been screaming at for years, and then we're starting to listen. And sometimes using a platform for good is really about being transparent and about admitting when you're wrong. I was wrong. I've been wrong. I haven't said Black Lives Matter when it first came out because I was scared. I was scared of losing followers. I was afraid of what my family would think. I was afraid of having the hard conversations that I'm having now, that I'm only just starting to have now. I'm 31 years old and I'm only just starting to talk about race with people. People are older than me, that this is the first time that they're ever really having to have discussions and debates about race and how racial inequality is still here. That civil rights happened in the 60s and we're still doing this shit. Black people are still living this day to day. We're only just starting to talk about it and just starting to get uncomfortable sitting in it. What a privilege. What a lovely way of life that we've only had to just start talking about it. Editing Emily here. Just to say that I'm meaning to say that most white people are only really starting to have the hard conversations about race, whereas people of color, especially Black people in our country, in our world, have had to live with these discussions, have to live with these realities for centuries. So just even the idea that we're only just starting to question. We, as in white people, most white people are only really just starting to question the system, the systemic racism that is implemented into our culture. The racism that is abundantly around us is a privilege in itself. So I just wanted to note that really quick. Racism hasn't just started, or racism didn't take a pause, that it's been here this whole time. It's just shown up in history in various ways and has evolved with humans. And probably only just start talking about it because a global pandemic has hit our world, and we don't have capitalism, and we don't have our day-to-day life that's the normal for us to get in the way of talking about the hard stuff. So the hard thing I'm going to talk about today is how I messed up. It was brought to my attention that I had said things and done things that were racially charged in the past, that were, I don't know if the person who said it to me, who is a friend, said it, would use the word microaggressions, but I think categorically they would be microaggressions unless this person felt it was more than a microaggression. I posted on Facebook about Breonna Taylor and how her birthday was so close to mine, and how she was murdered and wouldn't be able to celebrate her 27th birthday. And I said in the post that we have to be allies, and that we just have to try, and we have to start, and we have to listen, and we have to put our egos aside and listen to the people we've hurt and do better. Well, I had a friend who read that message and has probably seen other posts I've made on Instagram, if they still follow me, and called me out and said, you want to be a better ally? These are some of the things that you've done. Do with that what you will. The things that my friend told me that I've said and that I've done, it was like immediately a movie in my mind. I went right back to that day, and I remember the conversation, and I remember what I said. Boy, did that sting hearing that. Not that it sting because, and well, there's probably some truth to it about my white fragility, you know, being told I'm racist, being told the words that you don't want to hear. Racism is a dirty, dirty word that nobody wants to be associated with. And yet, we live in a racist society that has been built on that concept that white people are better than black people, and that's not true. We have to break that down. And starting to do that, that starts with listening to when you've hurt black people and other black indigenous people of color. My friend had a lot of courage and graciousness, number one, to message me personally. He said, I didn't want to call you out on Facebook, so I'm doing it here. What a gift. What an opportunity that was. That takes a lot of guts for someone to come to someone that they call a friend or have called a friend in the past to say when you've hurt them. I hurt my friend, and I've probably hurt other friends by my flippant remarks. I don't know if it's necessary to say what I've done, and maybe it is, but maybe it can be used as an example of even me, even someone who I'm liberal, I'm accepting, I'm open, I would like to think woke, but even I, who think I'm a really good person and have grown into a really good person, can be better. Austin Channing Brown was just on Brene Brown's podcast, and there was just this moment of the two women having an exchange of Brene Brown saying, I'm a good person, but I know I've said this, that, and the other that are not good. Austin Channing Brown said in response, but don't you want to be better? Don't you want to be a better person? I believe you can be better. And if we take these comments and we take these missteps and we take these hurtful things we've said in and look inside and sit in that discomfort and that shame that we feel and that disappointment we feel towards ourselves in order to be better for our friends, for our family, for our children, our Black, Indigenous people of color, for our partners, that's good. I had to sit yesterday, and I'm still sitting with the shame that I feel about what I've said. I'll just say it. I've been told in the past that I can pass for a person of color in the casting world. That my body shape, my facial features, and my skin tone can pass as a Latina, as someone biracial, as someone that's like not quite white, but we don't know what we categorize you as. I've been told that by a lot of people. Instead of saying, well, that's not why I should be cast as something, or that's not why I should be considered for a role of a person of color, I claimed it. I checked off on my Backstage account, white Caucasian and multiracial Latina. What a shameful thing that is that I did. And it was something I completely forgot about. Because I have the privilege to be able to claim things that I think are mine. That's not mine to claim. You know how in Backstage things come to you basically based on what you look like and what you're just kind of what is on your Backstage. I got a lot of invitations to do that, to audition for lead singer of a Latin band. I will say that I never accepted them because I've always thought, that's not right. Well, if I thought, well, that's not right, why didn't I just change that on my profile? Why did I keep that up for so long? Because part of me felt like I had the right to. Something deep down. Something that I've systematically thought was always fine to do. Is there an excuse for it? No. But is that maybe the reasoning? Maybe. It's important to note that what I'm saying right here is invitations to audition as a lead Latina in a band has been offered to me on Backstage, but I haven't accepted work through those offers. I have played 2 Latina roles because they were offered through people that I trusted. And I was not in a position at the time to give up work or to really challenge the system that I was in. One was Carla in In the Heights. Selfishly, I always had wanted to do In the Heights. I was offered the role of Carla, and I didn't turn it down. I wasn't the only white person in the show. I was one of a few, but I still took the role, and I did a lot of work to make sure I wasn't playing a caricature of a human, but a real human with a lot of different facets. And the other time that I did it was on cruise ships. On my last ship, I played Maria in Amor Cubano through Carnival Entertainment. Difficulty was that it was one show amongst 4 shows we were doing. And out of the 2 female singers, I was the one that could sing in Spanish, and I was the one that could pass. There wasn't much of a choice in the matter. And so I worked really, really hard to do the work that was there and to give honor to the culture as much as I could as a white woman. But from here on out, I just want to say and to pledge that I no longer will be taking any roles that are specifically for a woman of a different race. I pledge to not take a role to which a center point, a focal point of a character is their culture, is their race. That's not my experience, and I shouldn't have taken those roles, and I won't be taking them in the future. So I just wanted to make that clear here. I messed up, and that's wrong, and I'm sorry for that. I'm not just saying that to my friend who called me out. I am saying that to you if you're watching this, but I'm also saying that it feels like to say you're sorry, but you have to say you're sorry. You have to take ownership over the crap you've done. If you're a good person, it should hurt. So use that hurt and make yourself better from it and be better to the Black, Indigenous, people of color communities. Be better. Why just stop at being good? Be better. Legally, I haven't changed my last name to Martinez yet for a couple of reasons, mainly because it's a very long process to change your last name, and I'm lazy, and I haven't. So I've been using Martinez as my stage name, as my brand name, with all signs pointing to I am going to change my name legally. And every time that I go and think, okay, I'm going to start this process, because I know it takes about a year and a half just to get all the paperwork done, or at least that's what I've been told, that it just takes a long time to get everything in order, and that it's a big pain in the ass. And so I've been putting it off for a while. Since I got married, I've been putting it off. And anytime that I go to think, I'm going to change my name, it's going to happen, we're going to start, enough things happen that it's like, okay, now's not the right time. I've been using Martinez as my stage name and as my online name, with all hopes to make it my legal name as well. But I've made comments in the past about saying Martinez could possibly help me get different types of roles. It'll help me in the casting room. Comments that I thought were a joke at the time, which wasn't long ago. A year and a half ago is not long ago to make a kind of comment like that. I thought in a way that I was safe to say that because I'm married to a Puerto Rican man. Doesn't ever make it okay. I might not be saying racial slurs, but I am living in a system where I thought it was okay to say something like that and that it wouldn't have any type of weight. Well, it did, and it hurt people, and I'm so sorry for that. I'm deeply sorry for that. This isn't about me. This isn't about my ego. This isn't about the white fragility that's in me. My tears and my anger comes from the power that I had to help. I used to hurt and didn't realize that I hurt. That's how ingrained white supremacy is in our system. That words come out of our mouths that we don't realize the impact and power that they have. If you're making jokes using the N-word or any other type of racial slur, then yeah, you know exactly what you're doing. You just think you're untouchable. But white supremacy and the idea of being better than another race is deeply ingrained in us. So deep that it takes a friend 2 years, a year and a half later to finally go, you know, you're toting all this Black Lives Matter, and yet you said this, so I just want to remind you. And I'm so thankful and humbled that my friend had the courage to come and tell me that. Instead of you giving me a pat on the back for being a good ally in this video, or a pat on the back saying, Emily, you did your part today as a white person. Yeah. You're good. You're a good person. You don't need to apologize for anything. Instead of any of that, I don't want that. In fact, I'm going to delete that. What I do want and what I do ask of you is put your favorite Black creator for me to follow. Whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, even though I'm not really on Twitter, or YouTube. I'm trying to expand my feed, diversify it. Instead of sitting down and filming this, I was planning on doing a video on Black creators that I follow, and guess what? I realized very vanilla on my feed. And it's a lot of the same vanilla over and over again. I'm working on that video. I'm working on that at the moment. So if you have any more creators that you think I should follow that I'd like, put them down below. I want to know who your favorite Black musician is. Books, novels written by Black people. Yes, obviously books about anti-racism. I've seen many a list about that, and I'm excited to get some from smaller Black-owned bookstores. But maybe a novel or thriller. Your favorite Black coffee shops that are in your town or your city, if I ever travel to your city, or your favorite Black-owned restaurants, educators, podcasts. She loves a podcast. Artists. I want to know that. I want to educate myself more. I want to delve deep. So if you have suggestions, I ask that. Because this is not about me. My discomfort, my anger, my fragility, and my sadness doesn't matter. Because guess what? I can go out that door and I'm not worried about being shot by a cop. I don't carry that fear with me every day. I don't have to. I have never had to. But guess what? When my husband leaves my house, I sure as hell am. I kiss him twice when he leaves my house. Because I'm afraid for him. So, this is bigger than your feelings. Being an ally, if you want to be an ally, if you want to be a better person, you got to start getting messy. You got to start hearing the parts about yourself that you never wanted to hear. Trends on Instagram and on social media to bring about resources are really great, but they die down. They lose their sex appeal. The black box was sexy. Everybody felt like they were in the room where it happened. But it's the work that we do off our phones and in our homes. And not only in our homes and what we teach our kids, but right in here is where the real work starts. And that's the hardest work to do, because you gotta look in the mirror and ask yourself, what have I done? Who have I hurt? And whether you're ready or not, you have to say you're sorry and believe that those apologies. You got to start changing. Because if we want this world to be a better place, like we always say, I want this world to be a better place, creating a better world is really hard and it's messy, but it's so worth it. So I encourage you, white people watching this, my white followers, be transparent. This is just to remind you, it is not a black person's job to educate you and answer all your questions. There's thousands of free resources for your questions to get answered. So please don't go blowing up your black friends' phones and just giving a blanket, "I'm sorry." But if there is something on your heart that you think, maybe that one thing I said hurt them, and they've never said anything, open up the door and give them the opportunity, if they want to take it, to air out that kind of stuff. So to my friends in my life who might be watching this, it's not your job to tell me when I've been a bad white person or a bad ally. But if you feel like there's something on your heart that you want to say and you've never said to me, my door is open. My DMs are open. If you still have my phone number is available. You can call me any time of day or night. You can text me. You can message me. Believe me, my platform isn't big enough that I don't see messages. I see them. And we can talk. And I can be better. I'm going back in my social media and deleting things that have a potential of being insensitive to anyone, because that doesn't represent who I am. Whether it was in high school or college or post-college, that's not the type of person that I am or that I want to be in this world. I know that I have a responsibility as someone with a platform to do the right thing, to do the next right thing. And I think that might mean going back and deleting and asking people to delete things that I might be tagged in that are potentially harmful, because that doesn't represent who I am. And if you think that that's like, oh, too PC, Emily, get over it, think about the people that are looking at that might be hurt by something I've said or something that you've said. Being an ally is not easy. No one ever said it was easy. In fact, it was warned to many of us that your job's not going to be easy, but you don't have a choice if you want to support the Black Lives Matter movement. And I want to support the Black Lives Matter movement because I'm for humanity and I'm for the world being better, and the world can't be better until Black Lives Matter. And if you're white and you're struggling and you're scared and you're uncomfortable, this is just a taste of what black people have felt in our country and in our world for centuries. It's not even a taste. It's not even a crumb. It's a taste bud's worth. This great article, I'm going to list it down below. I have to be better at reading whole articles. That's something I really have to be better at. But there was this article for a woman, an ally named Ashley Ray. It's in the Cut. That's where the article is from. And it's about allyship and how messy it can be and how hard it is. It's hard because it's important, and it's hard because we have to do it. If this was easy, if being an ally was easy, the world wouldn't be where we are now. Everyone would be an ally. It would just be. But Ashley Ray said this: allyship is committing to pushing past the point of comfort to take effective and impactful action to change things, even if that action is messy or dangerous. So I am committed. I am committed to being anti-racist. I am committed to being an ally, no matter how messy it gets and how much I have to take on the chin and how often I have to set my ego at the door and how often I have to reassess my thought patterns, because it's important and it's the way the world should be. And I really urge you to do the same. Look inside and start questioning everything you know, because none of us are clean in this situation. I'm committed to doing the work. I'm committed to doing the work myself. I'm committed to seeing more ugly sides of myself that I didn't think were there. I'm committed to being the person that I want to be and being transparent. I don't make a lot of money in ad revenue on YouTube yet, but if this video isn't demonetized and builds any type of ad revenue, that will be donated to, I'll donate it to the ACLU, because ACLU is such a great organization. So thank you for watching. I really hope that this video isn't too long. And thank you for listening to me, for giving me your time. I also want to thank Gabe for helping me through this. Keeps going through his own experience as a person of color. And I'm leaning on him a lot lately in terms of emotional support for my white fragility. And he's been such a great partner to me. And a wonderful husband. That is so selfless. So Gabe, I thank you for being patient. And even when you don't have the answers, allowing me to ask the questions. And then also telling me when it's time that you can't talk about it anymore. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you. So, that's what I got. That's what I'm emotional because I'm an emotional human. And I care. I just care a lot. So, thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time.